Exactly 48 hours ago, something happened that sent shockwaves through the spiritual dimensions. It wasn't a sound you could hear with your physical ears. It didn't make the evening news. But in the unseen realm, where battles for destiny are fought every single second, the atmosphere shifted violently. Lucifer himself witnessed your future, a future so powerful, so undeniable, that it shook the very foundation of hell. And when he saw it, when he finally understood what you were destined to become, he screamed in terror. You need to understand the gravity of this moment. The enemy is arrogant. He is proud. He does not scream easily. But he saw a timeline he thought he had destroyed. He looked at your life and saw the version of you that rises after the pain. He saw the version of you that stops crying and starts commanding. For years, the forces of darkness have been betting against you. They threw specific challenges your way. Financial blocks, relationship betrayals, silent battles in your mind, all designed to keep you small. They thought if they hit you hard enough, you would fold. They thought if they buried you under enough pressure, you would never get back up. But they made a fatal calculation. They didn't realize who they were dealing with. You are not just a regular person trying to get by. You are a sleeping giant in the spirit realm. The pressure didn't crush you, it built you. The fire didn't burn you, it refined you. And 48 hours ago, the realization hit the enemy like a freight train. You are still standing. He saw that your potential is not just about you getting a better car or a bigger house. It is about the light you carry. He saw a mission so divine and their purpose so strong that the dark forces cannot stop it. He saw you breaking generational curses that have held your family captive for decades. He saw you walking in a level of authority that makes demons tremble. He saw you becoming a dangerous problem for his kingdom. That is why he screamed. He realized he's running out of time. He knows that once you wake up to who you truly are, his game is over. This is why the attacks on your life have been so intense lately. This is why you feel like you are walking through mud, fighting for every inch of progress. It is not because you are cursed. It is because you are chosen. The thief does not break into an empty house. He attacks the vault. And your life is a vault containing something that terrifies him. You are about to find out exactly what he saw. You are about to discover why the enemy is in a panic and why the heavens are leaning in to watch your next move. Do not click away. Do not let a distraction pull you out of this moment. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what he saw and why he is terrified of your next 30 days. Chosen one, pause. If you felt a shiver when you clicked this video, it's not an algorithm, it's alignment. The enemy loves it when you scroll past your breakthrough. He wants you disconnected. Don't let him steal this confirmation from you. Subscribe now. Secure your connection to the truth he is trying to hide from you. 3 weeks ago, something happened to you. It wasn't a public event. There was no audience, no applause, and no one there to witness it. But it was a test. A massive, defining test that the universe used to measure the weight of your soul. You were alone, wrestling with a decision that felt impossible. It felt like you were being squeezed between what was easy and what was right. Maybe it was money you desperately needed. The opportunity was sitting right there in front of you. It would have solved your immediate problems. It would have paid that bill that has been keeping you awake at night. But you refused to take it because you knew the source was unclean. You knew that accepting it meant compromising who you are, and you walked away from it. Or maybe it was a relationship struggle. Maybe it was a text message you typed out to a toxic person from your past. You were lonely. You missed the familiarity. Your thumb hovered over the send button, shaking. You wanted that connection back, even though you knew it destroyed your peace. But you didn't send it. You deleted it. You chose the pain of growth over the comfort of toxicity. Or perhaps it was staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., choosing loneliness over compromise. You could have lowered your standards just to have someone next to you. You could have settled for good enough like everyone else seems to do. But you didn't. You stayed alone rather than being with someone who drained your spirit. Here's what you need to understand. Most people fail this test. Look around you. The world is full of people who take the shortcut. They lie to get ahead. They sell their values for a quick payout. They run back to their past because they are afraid of the unknown. They choose the easy path every single time. And honestly, no one would have blamed you if you did the same. It was the logical choice. It was the path of least resistance. But you are not like them. You chose the hard path. You chose integrity when no one was watching. And that decision, it didn't just shape your character. It sent a massive signal into the spiritual realm. It was like a flare gun going off in the absolute darkness. When you said no to that temptation, you proved something dangerous to the enemy. You proved you cannot be bought. You proved you cannot be manipulated. The spirit realm realized that your moral code is not for sale. That simple moment of integrity was the spark. That was the exact moment the alarm bells started ringing in hell. You showed them that you are incorruptible. And an incorruptible human is the most dangerous weapon God can use against the kingdom of darkness. When the forces of darkness saw your decision, they didn't just watch, they convened. The highest princes of Hell Mammon, the ruler of greed, and Leviathan, the king of pride, gathered to discuss what had just happened. They were confused. For thousands of years, they have watched humans break. They know the formula: apply enough pressure, and the human crumbles. Offer enough money, and the human sells out. Introduce enough fear, and the human runs. It has always been a predictable game. But you were something entirely different. You are what the spiritual realm calls a moral anomaly. You are a glitch in their matrix. Think about your history. Look at your bloodline. By all accounts, the enemy thought they had you figured out. Your parents or grandparents may have struggled with specific demons: addiction, divorce, poverty, or anger. The enemy had a file on your family. They had a prediction model that said, this one will fail just like the rest of them. This one will repeat the cycle. They expected you to inherit the dysfunction. They expected you to be bitter, broken, and easily controlled. But you broke the pattern. Where others in your lineage gave up, you kept pushing. Where they turned to distractions to numb the pain, you faced it. You didn't just survive the trauma, you absorbed it and refused to pass it on. This is why they hate you. They hate you because you are unpredictable. They cannot control what they cannot predict. You didn't just survive the storm, you became the storm that threatens their control. This is the core reason why your life feels like a battlefield right now. They realize that if you succeed, you won't just be blessed individually. You are the key to liberating your entire lineage. If you break through, you shatter the chains for your children and your grandchildren. You are the one sent to settle the family debt. You are the one sent to clear the path. That is why the attacks have been so heavy lately. It is not because you are doing something wrong. It is because you are doing something right. They are swarming you because you are a threat to the foundations of their kingdom. They know that if you keep standing, their hold on your family ends with you. Type 444 in the comments to declare, I am the cycle breaker. Let the enemy know his time is up. And then, God saw what had happened. While the dark forces were panicking and convening in fear, the atmosphere in heaven was completely different. There was no chaos. There was no rushing around. There was only a profound, heavy, and sovereign stillness. You need to realize something about the silence you have felt lately. You have probably asked, God, where were you when I was hurting? Why didn't you step in when I was crying on the floor? Why did you let me go through that test alone? It is a valid question, but the answer is not what you think. God didn't intervene because he didn't need to save you from that moment. He needed to see if you could survive it. The Creator, who has always known your potential, saw you make that choice. He saw you staring at the temptation and walking away, and he was moved. He didn't send a lightning bolt. He didn't send an angel to hold your hand. He stood back, just like a father watching his child take their first wobbly steps across the living room. He didn't carry you. He let you struggle for balance. He let you feel the weight of gravity because he knew that if he carried you, you would never develop the spiritual muscles you need for where you are going. But when you stood your ground, when you chose integrity over the easy way out, he noticed, and he smiled. It wasn't just a smile of happiness, it was a smile of validation. It was the smile of a commander realizing his soldier is ready for the real war. It was the smile of a king realizing you are finally ready to handle the kingdom. You have interpreted the silence of the last few years as punishment. You thought you were being ignored, but you were not being punished. You were being trained. That isolation was your classroom. That pain was your gymnasium. The silence wasn't the absence of God. It was the observation of God. He was waiting for you to prove that you could handle a little bit of power so he could trust you with a lot of it. He was waiting for you to realize your purpose in ways that would change the world. And now, the test is graded. You passed. God stayed silent because he knew you would win. And because you won, he is about to break the silence. I know you are used to fighting these battles in silence. You're used to being the only one who sees the spiritual reality while everyone else sleeps. But you aren't isolated anymore. If this story is mirroring your life, don't just watch as a stranger. Hit that subscribe button. Stop walking through the valley alone when there's a whole army of chosen ones waiting to walk with you. Lucifer, with all his power, couldn't break you. He realized that the pressure he applied only turned into diamonds in your spirit. The storms he sent only made your roots go deeper. So, he changed tactics. He stopped screaming and started whispering. He tried to negotiate. This phase is actually more dangerous than the attacks. The attacks you can see coming. The attacks force you to pray. But the negotiation? It looks like relief. It looks like the answer you had been waiting for. He came to you in your thoughts, perhaps in a moment of sheer exhaustion, and laid a contract on the table. He didn't offer you a throne or a kingdom because he knows you don't care about vanity. He offered you what you actually starve for. He said, "Join me, work with me, and you'll never have to suffer again. I can give you rest. You have been fighting this battle for so long. Aren't you tired? I can make the financial struggle stop instantly. I can make the bill collectors disappear. I can give you the influence you deserve. I can give you the relationship you crave so you never have to wake up alone again." It sounded perfect. It sounded like the breakthrough you had been crying out for. But then came the condition. All I need is for you to bend the knee just once. One small concession. He wasn't asking you to denounce your faith publicly. He is too smart for that. He was asking for a subtle compromise. Just overlook this one lie at work. Just accept this person back into your life even though they are toxic. Just lower your standards a little bit to fit in. Just do it the easy way this one time. He presented the ultimate temptation, a chance to trade your values for immediate comfort and control. For a second it looked appealing, but then something deep inside you kicked in. You felt a sickness in your stomach. Your spirit, which has been sharpened by the trials you endured, instinctively rejected it. You looked at the peace he offered and realized it was counterfeit. You realized that peace without God is just a quiet trap. You realized that money without integrity is just poverty with a bank account. You didn't need to think about it. The rejection wasn't a debate. It was a reflex. You felt a hard, cold no rise up in your chest. You realized that your soul is not for sale. You realized that you would rather struggle with your integrity intact than succeed with a compromised soul. You looked at the offer of everything you ever wanted, and you walked away because the price tag was too high. That rejection was the turning point. That was the moment the negotiation failed, and the enemy realized you were beyond his reach. And then, something happened that no one thought possible. When you walked away from that negotiation, when you refused to compromise your soul for a moment of comfort, the atmosphere in the spiritual realm didn't just shift, it cracked. Lucifer, the Prince of Darkness, did not bow to you out of respect. He is too proud for that. He did not kneel because he wanted to honor you. No, he collapsed. He hit the floor because he physically could not stand in the presence of the light you now carry. You have to understand the physics of the spirit realm. Sin and darkness have weight, but glory has a much heavier weight. When you passed that test of integrity, you didn't just become a good person, you became radioactive to the kingdom of darkness. Your integrity acted like a blast of spiritual radiation. The darkness didn't have a choice. It had to flee, or it had to be crushed. Imagine a shadow trying to fight the sun at noon. The shadow doesn't surrender. It simply ceases to exist. That is what happened to the enemy's power over your life. When he looked at you, he didn't see the broken person you used to be. He saw the Christ light radiating from your scars. And that light was so heavy, so intense, and so pure that it forced him to the ground. The entire infernal court, every demon, every principality that had been assigned to monitor your life fell silent. They didn't fall silent out of reverence. They fell silent out of pure shock. They were terrified. They had spent years trying to break you. They had thrown every weapon in their arsenal at you. They attacked your mind, your money, your family, and your health. They were certain that you would crack. But instead of breaking you, they watched you break their hold over your life. This is the moment everything changed. You are no longer just fighting for survival. You have stepped into a realm where you are untouchable. The chains that used to bind you have melted in the heat of your integrity. The generational curses that chased you have slammed into a wall of fire they cannot cross. This is the ultimate victory of us versus them. They tried to bury you, not realizing you were a seed. They tried to crush you, not realizing you were a diamond. They tried to extinguish your light, but all they did was blow away the smoke so you could burn brighter. Lucifer is not screaming anymore. He is silent. He knows he is lost. He knows that a human being who cannot be bought and cannot be broken is the most dangerous thing in creation. You have won. And you didn't win by fighting dirty. You won by standing firm. You broke the enemy simply by being who God created you to be. As the enemy collapsed and the darkness retreated, a new presence filled the void. The silence of the infernal court was replaced by the arrival of the archangels, Michael the warrior, Gabriel the messenger, and Raphael the healer. They stood together to witness what had just occurred. They were not there to fight. The fight was already over. You won it when you kept your integrity. They were there to validate the victory. These archangels have watched humanity for thousands of years. They have seen kings fall. They have seen prophets sell out for gold. They have seen the strongest men and women crumble under the exact same pressure you just faced. They gathered to discuss your resilience because, frankly, they had never seen such a display of strength in this generation. They looked at your file, the years of tears, the lonely nights, the silent battles, and they declared you ready. Because the enemy has been crushed, the blockage that has held you back for years is now removed. There is no longer any legal standing in the spirit realm to delay your blessing. The resistance is gone. Now the archangels are moving into operation. They are not just watching anymore, they are working. Because you passed the test, they are authorized to clear the path for your destiny. Right now, as you listen to this, they are speaking over your future. They are shifting the atmosphere to align with your new status. They are organizing the contracts you are supposed to sign. They are positioning the people you need to meet, relationships that are not based on what you can give, but on where you are going. They are unlocking opportunities that were previously hidden from your view. This is a divine operation. You are no longer pushing against a closed door. The door has been kicked open. The archangels are ensuring that the resources, the wisdom, and the connections you need for your mission are being routed to you immediately. The delay is over. Heaven has signed off on your promotion. With the path cleared and the archangels in position, the final seal is broken. The waiting period is officially over. God looks at your timeline. He looks at the work the angels have done, and he speaks the command that changes everything. Activate it. When those words were spoken over your life, your spiritual status shifted instantly. You are no longer a civilian in the spirit realm. You are no longer a victim of bad luck or circumstance. You are now an awakened celestial warrior, fully authorized for the mission. The life you have known up until this point is gone. The version of you that was confused, afraid, and constantly begging for relief is gone. Now, everything makes sense. You finally have the answer to the question you have been asking for years. You understand why you had to go through so much pain. The loneliness wasn't rejection. It was isolation for protection. The heartbreak wasn't meant to kill you. It was meant to callous your heart so you wouldn't be easily manipulated. The relentless attacks were not random. They were combat training. Everything you experienced, every tear, every betrayal, every closed door, was preparation for this specific season of influence. You could not have handled this level of power 5 years ago. You would have crumbled under the weight of this destiny if you hadn't been forged in the fire first. The past was not a mistake. It was the boot camp required to build the warrior who stands here today. You are now fully awake to your true nature. You are part of a cosmic plan that is far bigger than just paying bills and dying. You are a dangerous instrument in the hands of God. You are about to step into the future that made Lucifer scream. You are about to walk into the destiny that terrified hell. The enemy knows he can't stop you anymore. The only question left is simple. Are you ready to receive it? Stop, just for a second. If you are still watching and you haven't subscribed yet, ask yourself why. Is it resistance? Every time you cry out for answers, God guides you to a refuge like this. Don't reject the spiritual food he is serving you. Subscribe now. Stay connected to the voice that reminds you of your power when the world tries to strip it away. With the path cleared and the archangels in position, the final seal is broken. The waiting period is officially over. God looks at your timeline. He looks at the work the angels have done, and he speaks the command that changes everything. Activate it. When those words were spoken over your life, your spiritual status shifted instantly. You are no longer a civilian in the spirit realm. You are no longer a victim of bad luck or circumstance. You are now an awakened celestial warrior, fully authorized for the mission. The life you have known up until this point is gone. The version of you that was confused, afraid, and constantly begging for relief is gone. Now, everything makes sense. You finally have the answer to the question you have been asking for years. You understand why you had to go through so much pain. The loneliness wasn't rejection. It was isolation for protection. The heartbreak wasn't meant to kill you. It was meant to callous your heart so you wouldn't be easily manipulated. The relentless attacks were not random. They were combat training. Everything you experienced, every tear, every betrayal, every closed door, was preparation for this specific season of influence. You could not have handled this level of power 5 years ago. You would have crumbled under the weight of this destiny if you hadn't been forged in the fire first. The past was not a mistake. It was the boot camp required to build the warrior who stands here today. You are now fully awake to your true nature. You are part of a cosmic plan that is far bigger than just paying bills and dying. You are a dangerous instrument in the hands of God. You are about to step into the future that made Lucifer scream. You are about to walk into the destiny that terrified hell. The enemy knows he can't stop you anymore. The only question left is simple. Are you ready to receive it? If you are ready to stop fighting like a victim and start ruling like a warrior, make it official. Type 444 to activate your divine authority today. This is the moment of seal. Everything you have heard up to this point, the revelation of Lucifer's fear, the test of your integrity, the silence of God, and the decree of the archangels. It all leads to this. Knowledge is not enough. You must ratify this in the spirit. You must sign the contract with your own voice. Do not just listen to these words. Speak them. Let your voice be heard in the room you are in right now. The enemy needs to hear you accept your assignment. God is listening. The angels are waiting for your permission to move fully. Say this with me. Heavenly Father, I stand before you right now, not as a victim, but as the warrior you created me to be. I thank you that you saw my future and deemed it worthy of protection. I thank you that when the enemy tried to break me, you used the pressure to build me. I accept my role as a chosen one. I accept that I am different. I stop apologizing for the light I carry. I stop trying to fit into places that were too small for my destiny. Right now, I declare that every cycle of failure in my bloodline ends with me. I am the cycle breaker. I sever every tie to the past that tries to pull me back. I break every agreement I made with fear. I break every agreement I made with lack. I declare that the integrity I showed in the dark is now producing a harvest in the light. Lord, separate me from those who do not understand my calling. I know that this walk requires focus. If there are people around me who are draining my spirit or distracting me from my mission, I ask you to remove them. Close the doors that need to be closed. End the relationships that have expired. Give me the discernment to know who is for me and who is secretly against me. Equip me to stand against the darkness. When the enemy tries to negotiate, give me the strength to walk away. When the pressure comes, remind me that I am untouchable. I receive the resources, the connections, and the opportunities that the archangels have aligned for me. I step into my season of influence. I step into the future that the enemy is terrified of. My eyes are open. My spirit is awake. The training is over. The mission has begun. In Jesus' name, Amen. If you prayed this prayer, the shift has already begun. You likely felt that a lightness in your chest, a clarity in your mind. That is the feeling of chains falling off. That is the feeling of your spirit aligning with heaven's timeline. Do not go back to sleep. You are awake now. The enemy will try to test you one last time to see if you really meant what you just said. Stand firm. You have the victory. Now, I want you to watch the video on your screen next. It dives deeper into the specific signs that God is removing toxic people from your life. To prepare you for this next level, you need to know who to let go of so you don't delay what God just started. Listen, the fact that you stayed until the very end proves your spirit was starving for this. Do not leave this place empty-handed. Subscribing cost you nothing, but missing your next instruction could cost you your peace. Join this family. Your next breakthrough might be hiding in the very next video we post.